Hello and welcome to episode 7 of The Island with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB, you're very welcome. Yes, this is my very own city build on my very own map build BonBon Island. The link to the map and to any new mods or assets that we use in today's show will be linked into the description. The build is going absolutely beautifully so far. I'm thoroughly enjoying every single moment of it. We're still very much within the start square. As soon as we can sprout out and grab some more tiles, we'll do that sewage treatment plant instead of pumping it out into the ocean. But it's looking good so far. I'm very happy with it. Last episode we did the work on the office district as well as a civic area as well, so we have a proper place for our fire station, police station and for our medical centre. And we have parking right by the railway station as well, so anybody getting off the train, once we switch on the realistic parking, which we'll do today, well, they'll have somewhere to park their car before they embark on their journey. We have waste solutions as well, plenty more work to do. Haven't finished doing any of these jobs at all, but we will at some point get around to doing them all. So if you pull the camera back, we'll have a look at the map as a full and talk about what we'll be doing in today's show. Well, first of all, we've got lots of high education jobs dotted around, so we're going to need highly educated people. So I'm going to do a pop-up university, a temporary location for that one, for all of our upgraded housing in our original start location. Well, we need to make it look pretty. We also need some transit, so a bus depot is going to be plopped down. We're also going to go a little bit loco as well down at the end of the railway before finishing off the show with a county hall, which we'll have to do more detailing on later on as we progress. We can start off though with that pop-up university. Literally gonna plop this down. We have a location for the campus. We will be getting to the campus in a later episode. It's outside of the start square, but only just. So for now, I feel plopping down the university around about here will help fill the jobs that we won't be able to fill with the lack of the highly educated people. Might take a little bit of a while for us to get enough educated people to fill the jobs, but I'll have to just keep replacing the buildings, won't I, as they go abandoned. And now we're going to delete all but one of the buildings in the original start zone that I originally zoned in. I'm going to get rid of the zoning. And we're going to plop down the buildings to make this place look a lot more aesthetically pleasing. And there's that park I promised we'd place directly opposite the very first of the building. That first building there, that one that I left in place, was the very first residence, the first one that spawned in. And while in game terms all of these buildings are technically historic buildings, that one is a truly historic building, and we'll leave it in place with the park directly opposite as somewhere people can go and visit, and of course people will still live there as well. It just feels like it adds a little bit of character. Now, the original plan was to have a bit of a mix of housing styles in this area, but when I started playing about with that one, I just felt it didn't match up with the other housing areas that we got right by it. So I decided to stick with exactly the same buildings around here, and then we'll do a mix of different styles of buildings as we break away. Now, I've got a few more cul-de-sacs going down here, and of course they've got the horrible line markings across them that it just doesn't look realistic, and we'll be fixing that today. We've got quite a few to fix. We'll be fixing that today. I do have the tutorial on how to do it, a perfect cul-de-sac tutorial, but you'll be seeing the speed overview of that today, so you probably won't need to see the tutorial once you've seen this one. So I'm just going to plop the few buildings around the outside, and then we'll be using ploppable asphalt by Ronix69 to hide up these line markings, and it looks a lot better for it. Now, sometimes it's a bit twitchy. Sometimes you have to really fight with it to make it look right. And if you do get anything that doesn't quite align, remember you can always shift the nodes as well as shifting the ploppable asphalt itself. Like there, we have got it completely covered, but just trying to get it to hide is not playing the game. It's not. I was getting very sad by this. Another one over the top of there, and raise the node at the back, and we're still fighting with it. Still fighting. But you get the look that you need in the end, and then you can just adjust the buildings around the outside so that it fits perfectly. Now back to this housing area. This is always at 1000 speed. Plopped all this lot down. Talking about 40 odd minutes work here, and I didn't feel that you wanted to watch this slowly going on. The area around here I've done in a couple of separate chunks so that we don't get the guaranteed death wave. There will be a death wave, but it won't be quite so bad by doing a small batch of housing, letting the game run, and then doing another small batch of housing. Highly recommend, actually, if you're doing your own city build, it's quite often a good idea to maybe zone one area, then leave it a while and go and zone a different area of the city. And so when you do get a death wave, it's in several different smaller locations all at once, and you can get your city building faster. I'm going to leave a few more patches as well for zoning, just to get these houses in right at the very end there. There you go. Fill in the gaps, and hopefully again the death wave will be less torrid than it could have been otherwise. So yeah, this is the oldest part of the build. There's our oldest house there, the first residence. I feel it's looking much better now. It's got the park opposite. It does feel like it's a proper naturally evolved thing, which is good. Do houses evolve? I'm not quite sure. Anyway, yes, this is looking much better. One more of those buildings right on there. I think we're looking a lot better. Oh, and we might as well run some. I've been meaning to do this area for a while. We might as well fill in all of these houses. Just get them all done. Get them all down. And then we can get this population up. Yeah, we're at 3,800 at the moment. By the end of the episode, it'll be about 4,500. And then it's just a question of getting the education up. All these people are going to get to the age that they go to university, and we will be absolutely fine. I'm not showing the any problems with education at all. Just trust me that they are there. So next up, you can see we do have people arriving via train to go to their new houses. Now I've switched on the realistic parking within TMPE Stable, which is the Traffic Manager Present Edition, and there's so many tools within that. We're not going to look at any of them today, just telling you that we have got the parking switched on, and this guy here is walking to his car. Okay. He gets off the train and the car is parked right at the top where the dirt track is, where the vehicles have been coming in previously. Well, his car is parked all the way up there. We'll be joining him for most of the walk. We'll do a few cuts here and there so we don't see the entire walk, but sometimes it's fun just to see what your city looks like down at ground level, and it just makes you feel part of the environment. I like that a lot. Now, quick heads up for what's coming up next week on the island, and the answer is, well, nothing. The island will return, but I have got some priority City Skylines jobs I need to do, and tutorials and such that just there isn't time. There isn't time to record the island. This particular show probably took about 6 hours to record in total, and on top of all of the Watts maps and the chart shows and everything else I do in the week, there's just not enough time for the tutorials, and I've got a few which absolutely have to be done. So we'll be doing those, and we'll be returning to the island in 2 or 3 weeks. So don't worry if... oh, what's going on here? Let's pull away from that guy before he has a mental breakdown. Okay, we're going to need public transport for these guys. We're going to pop down the vanilla bus depot. But again, most of the map build is still using vanilla assets. I'm planning to... just introduce a few custom items each week without overdoing it, and that's the plan. That's the plan. I'm still using network extensions to road there, the small unmarked road. Is it called the tiny road? No. I do need to upgrade away from network extensions too, and that is actually one of the tutorials that I'm looking to do in the next week or so. So look out for that one. Using here the Surface Network by neinnew. Surface Network, absolutely brilliant. You have the tarmac, you have the grass, you have the cliff, and all of those things. All the surface textures, so that you can do some really creative stuff with it. Also, with the node controller mod, you can just add so many more tweaks to this one. But for me, I'm using it more for detailing the area around here. There was a lot of fiddling. I'm going to be honest with you, there was a lot of fiddling. I'm a little out of touch. Those of you that know, I do enjoy the game, but I don't play it as often as I like because I'm too busy doing map reviews most of the time. And so my base skills, my mechanical skills, that's the word I'm going for, my mechanical skills are not as flush as those of the top creators out there, your Skibbeths and stuff, who are truly gods. Truly gods. So yes, for me, I need to practice more, and finding time to do that when I've got to make a tutorial, and I've got life. I have life as well to deal with. There's just not time to do it all. When I plopped this down, I did notice I was struggling to get it to run flush with the environment, and it looked a bit clunky. And I figured there's going to be a very good way of hiding that, and we'll be doing that in the episode in a few moments' time. But yes, I just wanted like two-tone of tarmac going around here, so it just looked a little bit more interesting without being too. Going to raise the road levels up here so that we don't have quite the glitching that we had there. And we'll be removing some of these crosswalks as well. I know we've got a heck of a lot of crosswalks around the map. I think that possibly be in the next episode, certainly not in today's episode, but we'll be doing some work with removing the crosswalks, and it may even be a tutorial in itself. Who knows? Who knows? I'm just trying to find a way of getting this to stop glitching. Please stop glitching. So yes, anyway, the bus depot, we're not actually going to put down any bus routes today, but so again, in the next episode, I would imagine that's when the first one is going to appear. It's going to basically run from the industrial area up through the main street, up to the residential area, and back so that people can get to and from work. So now we are using a lovely little asset. There's plenty of these sort of assets on the workshop. But for me, the old dry stone wall by JorfiK was absolutely what I needed for the build. It just kind of worked really nicely. Don't worry about this. I was going to use Move It to drag it in. Of course, Move It. Of course, Move It. Everybody needs Move It. That's the one mod. One of the many mods. But the one mod that was a game changer for the Cities Skylines community in terms of detail and getting things exactly where you need them. Should have been part of the base game, really. But hey, I guess I understand why it wasn't. I guess I understand. And we'll just do that, and then we'll just tweak that one over there to the end, and tweak that up to that. Align the nodes where we want them, and it's going to look a lot tidier. Very nice work. Well done, BonBon. Thank you, BonBon. Yes, so the bus depot, we'll be doing some bus detailing and some line marking and all the good stuff. Do like the good stuff. These are prop versions of the buses. There are a few different variations. There are plenty more buses on the workshop, but I've stuck with the vanilla stuff. When I say the vanilla stuff, the stuff that is either base game or DLC, in terms of like the sightseeing bus there, and we've got the intercity buses, the regular buses, and the school buses. They're all yellow. Yeah, meh, but it's going to do fine. And I'm going to do the old trick with the decals here. This is the old bike lane middle, which was originally about the only way of doing any sort of line marking. And I'm just going to plop those in there. We'll move the buses to fit in a moment. But yes, the bike lane middle using the prop line tool there. And do you know what? I think that'll do. I think that's pretty cool. And we'll just move the buses in to fit a little bit better. Doesn't have to be perfect, because parking isn't ever a perfect science anyway. And I think we'll do one maybe like that, maybe. What do we think? We'll pop you in there, and do you know what? I think we'll put you in the horizontal. I might as well fill the spaces. Might as well. Make it look busy. So yes, that I feel is the bus depot pretty good. What we are going to need is, ignore the animals there, a very small office building at the end, somewhere that you can imagine would be where the bus drivers finish their shift and they go and have their coffee. It's like the bus driver's office, where you sign and say, "Here for work, boss, what route do you want me to do?" And they send you to your route. Next up, we'll be having a look at the engine shed by Avanya. Okay, this This is decorative for me, okay, decorative. What we'll be doing is just extending these rail lines down to the engine shed there. It's just detailing. For me, it's just detailing, making the area feel a lot more like it's a real place and not just Cities Skylines build. I'm going to turn the engine shed around the correct way and try and align those tracks up with it. Try. Yeah, we'll fit it all in there. But yes, so this area here, because it's the end of the rail line, I felt that it could only be one thing, and that is like train focused. Up alongside it, we have the locomotive halls. Right, now this is a unique building that came with mass transit. It's under the landmarks tab if you have mass transit and you're wondering where it is. Yeah, unique buildings and then landmarks. And it's a nice little building. It's just a tourism type thing. It'll bring people to the area. So we're going to need parking. Again, using parking lots road by Baddy Deer there, which introduced you last week. I believe it was last week. It must have been last week at the railway station. And again, trying to get all these nodes that they're not really meant to be squeezed quite so tightly together. And when you do, you're getting the glitching. So there was a lot of fighting with this one to get it to work. But in the end, I was fairly happy with the end result, and that is all that matters, I think. Get in there, you. JorfiK. Hang on, we'll get there. How about we do it that way? Straight line like that. We are going to connect one of those. Oh, come on. It's hysterical watching oneself struggle to actually build something that you know how it ends up, and how you got there in the end. It was always like it was just a battle. I'm gonna keep it all very straight, and then angled, straight and then angled. Also, you'll notice we've got some steps there. Cars don't like steps. We'll find a way of making that work as well. So anyway, how are things with you? The life of BonBon has been very busy of late, and I have got so many things that I've got to be getting on with. I have got some Viewers' Choice specials as well. There was a couple of Viewers' Choice top 10 map videos that, well, I did one, and the plan was to do more of the end of year specials, and I completely forgot what we've locked down, and with it being an annual thing. And so, yeah, we've got a couple of those to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to go through and do them both. Maybe I'll do a combined one, or I'll have to think of a way of doing it. Have it still make some sort of sense. Because I'm not sure anybody's going to want to watch the top 10 maps of 2020 when it's almost 2022 now. So who's going to want to watch that? Well, people that have maps out in that year, but it seems a bit dated, doesn't it? Maybe we could do a top 10 maps of all time, maybe, as voted by you. But again, with 3 years only, it seems like a strange of all time to have a top 10 when you have only a limited amount of time of all time. It's a strange thing, but I will come up with a way of doing it. I will. All these nodes so close together, trying to tweak them so that you could get all of the decals showing was a battle. And I'm sure there's going to be somebody in the comments say, what you should have done is, yeah, great, lovely. I'm all about learning. I'm all about learning. Please, if I've missed something, do tell me. Do tell me. I will listen. I may not learn, but I will listen. And then over here, I did say we'd do a county hall over here. This is going to be a temporary build county hall. We'll come back and do a lot more detailing to this area when we have the university campus up. Because for now, we've got this pop-up university in place. And the pop-up university, frankly, is it's taking up a big chunk of the lands that I'm going to want, like parking lots and extra detailing as well. So what we're using here for the county hall is the Office of Oppression, which is a unique building, the Botanical Gardens, which is a park, and the Fantastic Fountain, which is a unique building from the After Dark DLC. You'll find those in the level 4 and the tourism and leisure tabs. And yes, just a basic bit of vanilla and DLC base game detailing, excuse me, for that one. We'll be using some park life paths as well. Got all of the DLC. But again, nothing off of the workshop here. This is all base game and DLC work going on here. I'll come back and I'll do a lot more detailing to this area. I say once we get rid of that pop-up university, which we won't be able to do until we start working across the edge of the start square. Which will happen, but I want to focus on the start square for now. I want to concentrate on this area and getting it filled out, flushed out, and looking good before we push onwards. So anyway, that is it. That is it for today. Now remember, there won't be an episode next week. It may not be one the week after as well, because there's plenty for me to be getting on with these extra shows and tutorials. So don't worry, the island is coming back. It's not going to do a Duvo. It is coming back. There's plenty I want to do on this city build. So just let me know in the comments what you think I should be doing next. I know what I want to do next, but if you're telling me that I should be doing something else, I will listen. A big shout out again to everybody who was here for the premiere, where you can join in on the live chat. It's always fun chatting with you guys and just getting to know you, as you seem to be getting to know me. And that is it for me. Thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. If you haven't already hit the notification bell, please do. It's a really good way of staying in touch with the channel, and we have got some really interesting tutorials coming up in the next couple of weeks, so do watch out for those. So that's it. I've been BonBonB. You have been very, very welcome. Thanks for watching. Have a great week, and I'll be back very, very soon.